Hey, how's it going, everybody? So out here at this point on Gold Camp Road, probably saw my last video. We're gonna kind of keep that theme up this time on though on the election. So political, don't like political, turn that YouTube to a different channel, click your mouse, close the window, do something. But yeah, this is going to be about the debate, and I can't wait for the debate. I think it's going to be hilarious. Obviously, anyone that is in favor of Trump over Biden is hoping Biden is just totally messes up, because the guy is so far out there, and you can see that through various clips. A guy that's a career politician messing up that much with speaking is, yeah, obviously there's something in his head that is going. Just even from a year ago. That's why a lot of people are saying that he probably has dementia or something. He has something going on. He is not all there. There's a reason why he's not coming out much. Is he really, maybe he's really afraid of that Chinese virus, that Wu flu. And no, that's not racist. And if you think that's racist by me calling it from where it came from, then you have an issue. I don't. And I'm okay if you don't watch my video. You've already watched this far, so that already gives me stats with YouTube that there was interaction. So, hey, knock yourself out now closing the window. It doesn't really matter. It is nice out now. We have more leaves have changed since last week. It's amazing. They're going quick. Get out there and see the fall colors this weekend, everybody, because it is going. They are changing quickly. Some of them are already down because we had snow. So, do I love Trump? Do I love everything? No, I don't. I just think he's the best candidate at this time. It would actually probably shock a lot of you to know that I'm more of a libertarian. I don't believe in even our big military, our military complex. I think it's too big. I don't believe in having CIA, FBI, NSA, DHS. That's too many organizations that overlap in a lot of areas. We don't need that many. That's a lot of money spent on building upkeep, IT infrastructure, more PCs, hiring people that do the same thing in each agency. They get retirement eventually. It's stuff we don't need. We don't need all that overlap. We need to consolidate. It's just like in these modern times, we don't need an IRS with thousands of agents. We need an easier tax code that allows us to not require so many agents. If we had like a flat tax, like whatever, pick the percentage, whatever the percentage might be, pick it. I'll even be nice and say, you know, you don't even have to start it until $40,000. So there you go. So people that make up till 40, maybe they pay nothing, or maybe just to keep it so they pay something. It should feel a little bit patriotic that they're helping their country. Maybe, you know, a couple $100 just as a token of, you know, I pay something. And then after that, a flat tax. Obviously, I know what some people are going to say. Well, what if I make $40,000, I don't pay any tax, or I pay a token, but as like an appreciation, but I make $41,000, so now I pay, hold on, get through that stuff. now I pay 40, I make 41,000, so now I have to pay $4,100 in taxes. Well, what that tells me is when you go for that raise, you just tell your employer, and they'll know already, well, I don't want, you'd be like, I don't want to make, it's more beneficial to me to stay at 40 than make 41,000. So if I get a salary increase, then I should only, I want to be making, 45. So at least I'm getting an increase on paper. I'm paying my tax. I'm getting maybe that would just give you a little reward. So what you would do is you would just tell your employer, well, I don't want $41,000. I don't want that $1,000 raise. Let's just hold off. And when I've been here for so long, then I pay, then I want, raise me up to 46,000. And then, then I'll start paying taxes. Oh, wow. It's gone. I wonder if he was able to drive it out, because that's gone too quick, I think, for Colorado rescue, 4x4 rescue recovery. It doesn't look dragged. I think it drove out. Well, that's good. Stolen vehicle is now gone. That's good stuff right there. See, guy got back his vehicle, and no longer out here to get worse and worse. Now we'll see if I can make it up this. Crossover. Man, much easier to go up than coming down. Nice. So yeah, you would just work that out with your your job, that, hey, look, how the taxes with the flat rate, and that's all you would do. It would just be a little different at the beginning there to get over that hump, but hopefully you would, within 5 years, you're actually making 55,000, and yeah, your tax at 10% would be 5,500. But it's better than it is now. You make 100,000, that would be 10 grand. So 90,000 is what you bring up. Make $1 million, that'd be $100,000 you're paying in tax, which is still too much. But there's a lot of people that think, oh, that's not enough. You're not paying your fair share. What do you mean fair share? Life isn't fair, and that's still more than you paid. So why are you worried about it? Why are you so worried about what people pay? I personally, because I'm more of a libertarian, I actually don't believe in income tax. But we're stuck with the model. That's never going to change. So, we got to live with that aspect of it. This other stuff, we could do a different way of doing income tax. If we're going to have a system, and make it easy. Because if it's easy, just imagine, you don't need to hire somebody. If all you had to pay was 10%, I mean, you imagine how easy that form is. Make it so there's no write-offs, no loopholes. There would still be business taxes, so that would probably be different, but you could probably do something there and make it just as easy. You could phase out people at the IRS. You wouldn't need such a huge IRS. Literally, it could be the size of a small call center. It could have like 50 employees. That's it. That's all you need. That's all you would need. And maybe, you know, 30 of those tend to go out in the field and they're going after people that still, for whatever reason, don't claim any taxes. You know? And the rest are just simply answering a phone and saying, hey, how can I help you? Yeah, this is where you put in this, this, and this. Send that in. We don't need thousands upon thousands of IRS employees. That means you don't need their big building. You could literally run it out of a call center type place. A small building, a small floor in a building. And yeah, so it means less computers, less IT, because, you know, it's small. So having a big IT staff, you just probably have 2 or 3 people, you know. That's it. And honestly, with such an easy system, I'm being generous still with IRS. I think that's being, honestly, you could probably have like a 5-person help desk for the whole nation, because no one should really be calling. What are you calling for? You know, download the form, do it online, or, you know, pick one up at a government facility or something, you know. But most people do online stuff, so they would just go online, print the form, and or do it electronically, and then that's it. You're done. You wouldn't need all these HR blocks, which, okay, yeah, they make a living doing it, so you're getting rid of people, but in the long run, it would be better for everybody, because taxes should be something that we all can do, should be able to do without knowing all the regulations. Oh, bridge still there. But it's so complicated. It's why I hire somebody. Now, could I do it? Yeah, sure, but somebody that does it all the time, putting their signature to it, I feel means less likely I'll get audited. I mean, you can still get audited, but less likely, because if you go through a reputable person, you know, tax preparer, it's less likely. Now, I've heard stories, this goes from family, where, you know, they swap tax preparers, and they got like audited every single year with the new person, and then after like 2 or 3 years, they were like, I'm switching, so they switched to a different place, and they stopped getting audited, because there's some probably tax preparers that the IRS knows, like, they might fudge stuff, you know? So you go through somebody that tends to not have issues with the client's papers, then you're probably not going to get as likely audited. Makes sense. I mean, whoa! Whoa, that squirrel. And then it got real rocky. Oh, if I was a new rider, that rocky section would have scared me, and I would have probably panicked. Woo-wee! Yeah, that bulldozer really messed stuff up. I don't think it made it better. Bulldozer came through here a week or 2 ago, and I don't know, hit some stuff, but there's still all these potholes, so it really didn't help out. So yeah, I'm more of a libertarian, actually. I don't believe in a lot of things for government. I definitely don't believe in CIA, FBI, NSA, DHS. Yeah. You might say, well, why don't you believe? Because they just overlap. They waste a lot of money by doing the same stuff, and they have a huge footprint. For those people that don't know, that I've been in embassies, I don't think I'm sworn to secrecy or anything on this, and I'm sure any adversary already knows all this, is within the embassies, especially the big postings like Vienna, other places. Moscow is a big one because obviously due to spying and stuff, espionage, that you know, there's a CIA, there's FBI, there's all these departments. NSA, I'm sure, is kind of hidden amongst them. And you might be like, well, really? FBI is overseas? Yeah, they're overseas. They have offices. It's just stuff people don't know. So they all overlap, you know? And there's really no reason to have all that overlapping. But there is that overlapping. And not only do they overlap on stuff, you know, they each have their buildings and stuff, and that's maintenance and expense and lighting and electricity and sewer, water. Everything that goes into having a building and having an IT team and this, janitorial, all this stuff. It costs money. Multi-millions of dollars that we could combine those 4 organizations alone, and they could do the same work with less people. They don't want to hear that because they're like, oh my God, my job. See, I'm being nice though and stuff and saying, well, we phase you out. We start phasing it out. Giving some people early retirement, because that way we don't have people down the road that are retiring. So yeah, we give you early retirement, have a good life, thank you for your service, and from now on it's going to be better because we're not spending all this money. Giving him some money to not spend hundreds of millions of dollars down the road is a lot better than having this vicious cycle. And it always seems to be growing. You know, we added Department of Homeland Security. It's like, we don't need Department of Homeland Security. We just needed an office under one of the other branches that maybe handle some aspects that they're doing. It's crazy, people. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I don't, you know, like I was going on about, I don't believe in income tax. I believe our military is too big. I believe in the draft. I think we all should serve. I wasn't fortunate enough to serve. I just, you know, just something I was afraid to be honest. I wasn't ready yet. By the time I was older, it was like, well, I'm working, I'm making money. Why would I go do that, you know? And obviously girlfriend, wife, so it became too late for me. But I think we should have a draft. I would have loved to serve my country now that I look back. So it's something I didn't do that I wish I would have done. And I think even if you have asthma, you can do a desk job. There's some job for you in the military. You don't need to, not everyone needs to run and do exercise. I mean, it should be promoted to be somewhat fit, but there's a plenty of desk jockeys in the military. And there always will be. And it would give you life skills, wouldn't it? So yeah, I'm very much in favor of a draft, because then everyone will be better. Well, that's pipeline. I'm not going to go down pipeline. I only like it going up, so that's my up, not a down for me. I mean, mean, honestly, the military would give everyone some skills. Whatever you did, even if it's the most mundane thing, being a cook. And maybe you won't use that skill later. Well, you will always use that skill. Actually, that's a lifelong skill there. I wish I knew how to cook better. That's something even just for yourself, even if you don't do it as a career when you get out. That's something you could do. But it gives you skills right off the bat that you're learning. Just like, you know, some prisoners go to prison and they actually want to change themselves. Very few and far between, sadly. But the ones that do want to change themselves and get jobs working within the prison because they're trusted, you know, they're learning some skills, social skills, whatever task they're doing, following orders, just little stuff that they don't realize that they're learning. Whee! Okay, that bridge was made more for coming across, but then once you get across, you would like literally have to cut the corner. Yeah, it doesn't work that well. I would, you know, well, so if we had a sort of a draft and, you know, hey, show up on your, right when you're done with high school. So, you know, you missed, if you got held back or something, whatever. Whether it's 18, 17, 18, 19, whatever. You know, you go take a test, do some exercise, do some basic stuff. They figure out where you'd be best. And you get placed into that area. Now, once you're in, you can, you know, request a change or whatever. If you want to go in for career, maybe you decide, like, this isn't bad. Oh my God, I've been in for 4 years. This isn't so bad. I want to make this a career. I really love what I'm doing here, or I love the possibility of where I could go here, or the programs they have or working on. And yeah, because not everyone fights in the military. If you do go in as a grunt, then, you know, you make the best of it. But look at moving, you know, within. Being like, okay, I was a grunt for 2 years, but man, put in for something else where you could do better, where you could learn maybe a skill, a better skill. Because I think there's skills you learn in all of it, but you know what I mean. Some skills you can use right when you get out. I think it would do everyone good. It would do the country good. You wouldn't have this newer generation of kids that are like, F the police, F this, F that, don't know how to follow orders. They sure do have a lot of say on subjects, but they've never put their lives on the line. They've never owned anything to fight to keep. I guess that's where I'm a traditionalist with the Constitution. You gotta remember, not only could women not vote, or African Americans, originally you had to be a landowner. And the idea behind that is you had something to fight for. You had something to keep, not be taken. You would stand up and fight for your home, if nothing else. Even if you didn't care about the government, you'd fight for your home. I really do think we should go back to only people that own property. By property, I mean land of some sort. And if you have a mortgage on it, that's fine. You own it. See, once we started changing what the founders intended, it really messed things up. And yes, that even goes for women voting. No one looked at the aspect of yeah, women voting, I agree with. They should vote. But no one looked at the domino effect. By having women run for office, by women voting, well, it wasn't set up so that your spouse could run to be president, like Hillary. To me, she was already in office with Bill Clinton. And because of my father's career, State Department, it was always known that Hillary wore the pants in that relationship. And a lot of stuff was like, hey, it's probably Hillary. No, Bill didn't wear the pants. See, a lot of people don't know that. That's what was thought of her back when she was just First Lady. She was known for running the show. So that's one of the things the founders never thought about, because they didn't think women would be interested in politics. They didn't think women would want to vote. They didn't think that interested them. That was kind of a man thing. It wasn't being mean. That was the times. And most women didn't care. But then, Industrial Revolution and what have you, people just changed. People's decided, I do care. I want a voice. And women started working more and more. Even when I was young, women that worked, mothers that worked, tended to be, they either, for whatever reason, went into a profession and they were skilled at some profession, or they were a single mother that had to get a waitress job, and they were a waitress. Versus other things. I mean, there was in other areas, but not as common. Like my mother mostly stayed home, but there was times she did work for just extra money, and that's our thing. It was just considered like extra money if you did work. For most of my life, my mother was just a stay-at-home mom, and thank you for being a stay-at-home mom. That's something that sadly we don't have anymore. I'm a stay-at-home dad, but my wife would love to stay home. No, but she's the professional. She's the one that makes the big bucks. So, yeah, it's and she makes great money. But most people in our neighborhood not only make what she makes, they make whatever the spouse makes. So if the spouse also is making six figures, they're bringing in $250,000 a year, or maybe even $300,000. And that's who's buying the big homes and leasing and financing the expensive cars. It's because of how society went. So, yeah, one little aspect of a system changing affects a lot of stuff, and that's why things cost so much. That's why a Jeep Rubicon, $70,000. It's like, what? Because if you have two professional incomes, which there's a lot out there, making $250,000, and a lot of people don't care if they have a sky-high payment. That's another issue, but they don't care, so they can afford the monthly lease or finance of $1,200 a month. It's stupid that they do it, but they do it, and they can because of the two income. If you also only took away two incomes, if people just went back to a norm of having one person stay home, whether it's the male or female, you would see home prices crash, you would see automobile prices crash, because you wouldn't be able to sell that stuff. People aren't making enough. So what I was getting at is just you change one aspect. So when I was young, it was mainly a one income household. And my mother worked a few times for fun, and she once worked at my daycare, I can remember, as cafeteria person. And plus, I think the discount on going there. She just had to come in for the lunch crowd and make lunch. And then another time, she worked as a person that logged hours for helicopter parts for the oil field industry. That was in Texas. The other was in Texas also. For something to do, at one point she worked in the mailroom at the embassy, and I believe in Austria. I think after I left the house, for something to do, because I wasn't around anymore. Yeah. Well, that's a lot of kids in the 80s. I think 80s was probably half and half. I don't know, I'm just guessing though. Half and half. Like my wife's mother was a teacher, public schools, and is a college professor now, just for fun, for mad money. I think she stayed home a little bit when they were first born, and then, went back and taught. So she mostly worked. So you had those people that had the two incomes early on, which, gave them a huge advantage over, like, my parents, But you didn't notice it back then because the majority of people still were one income households. You still had a lot of them, not necessarily old fashioned, I don't want to say that. It's just, that was the job, raising a kid. That's really hard. I can't do it. I realized that last spring with my daughter. I can't do it. I can't deal with the questions. I can't deal with the, especially how schools teach now. I can teach, basic math and stuff in my way, but it's also something where if your kids from day one were homeschooled, obviously that's a little different. But if they gone to public school and then you try to do the homeschooling, it's harder because they don't want to listen to you. They don't look at you as a teacher. I have nothing against the homeschooling thing. Kind of jealous. I wish I was better at that. Or if we lived near my mother-in-law, if we lived in Michigan, yeah, I would probably say, hey, why don't we just pay you? Use you as a private teacher. But you still have to socialize kids with people, other kids and friends and stuff. Wow, so going down Captain Jack's, wow, interesting. Oh, fishing is prohibited. They don't want you to catch one of those weird trout. See, that's an old single track right there. No vehicles. But my understanding is that used to go to the top. So I don't know. So I kind of rambled long enough. But anyways, that's just my philosophy on a few things. And yeah, I'm more libertarian, surprisingly. I'm just voting for Trump because he's the best choice right now. I'm sorry, Biden is not a good choice. Harris is horrible. She was a horrible prosecutor. Look at her record. She's well known for being a horrible prosecutor. And she's playing the race card when she's as mixed as they come. I mean, my father was tested for having some West African. I saw I probably have a little West African in me. You know, if she wants to play that game, that is so stupid, playing that game. Anyways, that's enough of my yakking. I've stopped. Editing this video is going to stink. It always does. Anyways, take care and stay well, my friends. Have a good one. Bye.